What's going on, everyone? This is Vince with VShred.com, and yes, today I am shirtless because I am taking you through a weighted ab workout, but I'm also going to be giving modifications for anybody out there who can't necessarily do some of the difficult ab exercises that I'm going to be showing you today.
I'ma keep on going up till the lights go down.
All right, so like I said, in today's video, we're going through a weighted ab workout, and this is just gonna be 4 exercises, and I'm gonna give some exercise modifications that are a little bit easier if you find any of these a little bit too difficult and you wanna work your way up to these. But throwing in weighted ab workouts is just going to make a massive difference if you're training abs all the time. Yes, obviously doing like body weight circuit type training with your abs is super important just for getting the strength up and maybe even a little bit of cardio and getting that burn going. But it's also, you also have to understand that your abs are a muscle. And just like any other muscle, you have to progressively overload the muscle. And so if you're just constantly going to the gym and you're just doing this circuit type training where you're doing sit-ups and Russian twists and bicycles and whatever you're doing, but there's nothing weighted, throw in a weighted ab workout for maybe once a week for a month or two, and I guarantee you start seeing your abs start to pop out a little bit more. You get that blocky ab look that you're probably wanting, and it's just gonna make a big difference. But I will say, if you think that just by training abs, you're going to get better abs while you have fat covering it, you're mistaken. You can't train abs and get rid of belly fat. If you want to get rid of belly fat and get your abs showing, then you have to make sure that you're obviously watching what you eat. You have to make sure that you're doing overall proper resistance training, and you have to make sure that you're doing the right ones for whatever your goal is and whatever shape you're in right now. And if you want help with that, I do have a body type quiz that tells you what to do depending on what shape you're in right now and what shape you want to be in and what you struggle with. And so it's just 6 questions. If you want to take it, it's free. We've had over 2 million people take it and get amazing results from it. So if you want to be the next one, I'll put a link to it down in the description below this video. You can check it out, help you get in shape a little bit easier. But getting into today's workout, like I said, we're doing 4 exercises, and we're gonna do 3 sets of each exercise. I'm not gonna do all 3 sets of every single exercise. I'm just gonna show you how to do each exercise. Make sure you're doing it correctly. And then the next time you go to the gym, you can know that you can be confident in your form and just know exactly what to do. So first exercise we got is going to be a hanging dumbbell leg raise. So I got the pull-up bar above me. I have a dumbbell sitting down here on the floor. I just have a 15-pound dumbbell. If you can only go 5, that's fine. If you can go heavier than me and you can go 20s, 25s, 30s, awesome, more power to you. If you can't do any weight, don't do it with any weight, but I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick just to make sure that your form is correctly. So first you get onto the bar and you get this weight hooked in your feet. From here, what you're going to do is immediately engage your core. So you don't just wanna be hanging loosely. You wanna engage your core, and then from there, you're going to lift this weight up to in line with your hips and drop it back down. Now, one thing to avoid is this swinging motion right here. You don't wanna be using any kind of momentum like that. That takes a lot of the ab activation that I would have gotten. So engage your core, stop that swinging, raise this up to hip height, return it back down, back up to hip height, bring it back down. So right there. And breathe your way through it. Like I said, 8 reps, maybe 10 if you can get it. And then, like I said, we are going to have some modifications for a couple of these. So if you can't do hanging leg raises even with no weight, then what you're gonna do is hopefully you have, this is called a power tower, or you can call it a power tower. If you have one of these, this is just a better version for someone who can't necessarily do those because your back is supported. So you don't have to worry about any kind of swinging. You can just throw your legs forward, focus on raising your legs with your abs up to hip height, and just go 8 to 10 reps or as many as you can. And then you're gonna rest for, I usually go with a minute when I'm training abs. If I am going weighted, sometimes I will bump that up to a minute and a half just to give my abs a little more time to recover since I'm doing weight. But if I'm ever doing like non-weighted abs, it's always a minute or less. We'll do 3 sets of that, and then we'll move into the second exercise. All right, so next up we have a barbell straight-armed sit-up. And so what this is basically I'm gonna be on the ground here. I personally like to anchor my feet under something. You don't necessarily have to, especially if you don't have something that can anchor your feet. It's just going to make the exercise a little more difficult. But what you're doing is you're essentially getting into a sit-up position, and then from here, you're going to hold a barbell above your head, and you're just going to keep your arms straight up and sit up just like that. So just sitting back up just like that. So personally, I put a barbell back behind my head. I do a little tricep extension to get it up above me. And then from here, I'm gonna get into a nice strong position, make sure that my arms are staying straight and they're always pointing straight at the ceiling. What you don't wanna do is move it down here or move it up there as you sit up. Keeping it straight, sit up, squeeze to the top, flex your abs, return back down slowly. Sit up, and back down. Sit up, and back down. And so if you can do this with a regular barbell, generally, I kind of get lucky because just a regular barbell like this with no weight is kind of the perfect weight for me if I'm going for like 10 reps. But if you can't use that kind of weight, what you can also do is just grab like a 10-pound plate or a 25-pound plate or a 35-pound plate or maybe even 2 dumbbells, but just find a weight that you can do with good form, really focusing on flexing those abs and just contracting those ab muscles rather than just kind of swinging your way up and sitting up, and because you sat up, it's a rep. It's not a rep unless you're actually contracting the muscle that you're trying to target. So 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps for that with a minute rest in between, and then we'll get into the third exercise. So for this exercise, I'm going to grab this little V handle that you usually find on the row cable machine. I'm gonna attach it to here. Essentially, we are just going to be using this so that we can crunch down to each side of our body. So I'm putting this cable up to the top. Or I guess you don't have to go all the way up to the top. You can just go wherever you can reach it when you kneel down. But so from here, put some more weight on this. You are going to do a cable pull down with your abs, so a cable crunch. And so regular cable crunch is going to be bringing your butt back a little bit, locking your hips into place, extending your abs, getting that stretch, and then crunching down, keeping your hips in that same spot the whole time. That's a regular cable crunch. We are going to do a side to side cable crunch so that we can hit a little bit more of those obliques. So instead of just holding this right behind our head and crunching down, we are going to get it right behind our head, and we are going to take our left elbow and crunch it down to our right knee. So what that looks like is locking your hips into place, left elbow, right knee, back up. And again, you can see that my back has that arch to it. You don't want to overarch, but you want to go until you feel that stretch in your abs. Then take your right elbow to your left knee, back up, stretch the abs, squeezing down to the side, and go back and forth just like that. This is one of my favorite oblique exercises just because it's good for just your overall abs, because you are just doing a regular crunch, but by throwing in that rotation, you're going to smash not only your 6-pack, but also your obliques, which is super nice. So again, you're gonna go 10 reps each side, rest for a minute, repeat that for 3 sets, and then we'll get into the final exercise. So for the last one, I'm gonna get this other dumbbell out of the way, grab a little bit of a heavier dumbbell, one that's also a little bit bigger, because this is going to be sitting on our hip. And so I like it to have a nice little snug fit there so that I technically don't even really have to hold it that much. But we're going to do a side plank hip dip. And so this is gonna be weighted. And so if you can't do this weighted, again, a modification would just be to do it without weight. And so there's 2 different variations. You can do it without weight. One, you can go elbow and knees, and you can just go there, okay? I guess there's 3 actually, because you can also go straight leg, down like that, or you can go up on your hand, straight leg, down like that. So what we're going to do, if you can do this weighted, is you're gonna throw this weight right up on your hip, and then you're going to dip down as far as you can, feeling a stretch in that oblique down there. and then you're going to drive your hips up, really squeezing on that under oblique. So down, stretch, drive it up, squeeze. Stretch down, drive it up, and squeeze. Down, squeeze. And so after you do 10 on that side, obviously flip over, put it on this side, stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. And so you're going 8 to 10 reps on each side. Again, focusing on form, focusing on that tension on the muscle, focusing on contracting that oblique muscle, getting that stretch, and then squeezing with that muscle. You're not using shoulders, you're trying to avoid using any other muscle other than your abs. But guys, that's the entire workout. A very quick one. You can get this workout done in like 10-15 minutes, so you don't need a bunch of time to hit abs, which is super nice. And also throwing in weighted exercises like this. If you've been hitting abs for a while, I used to hit abs all the time and I never really did weighted exercises. And then once I started throwing in weighted exercises, that's when my abs really started like popping out like I want them to. Then if you have fat covering those abs, doesn't matter how often you work your abs, they're not gonna show. So focus on getting that fat off, focus on throwing in some weighted ab exercises, and that's how you're gonna get that six pack that you want when you take your shirt off at the pool or at the beach this summer. So again, if you want help with getting that fat off, take that body type quiz, let me help you. But that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this workout, if you like ab workouts like this, make sure you're smashing that thumbs up button below and subscribing to the channel if you wanna get more content like this. I'm coming out with videos all the time. Workouts, follow along, at home, gym workouts, tips for water drinking and nutrition, everything. And so if you have anything specific that you wanna learn about, throw it in the comment section below. But that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.